Hi, it's Whitney Cal. I'm super grateful and excited to bring to you The Love Cards by Robert Lee Camp. And I'm going to do reading today of the successful business person, the King of Diamonds. If your birthday lands on January 14th, February 12th, March 10th, April 8th, May 6th, June 4th, or July 2nd, your main card is the King of Diamonds. And it's exciting, so I want to read just a little bit from the Kings because there's a whole piece on the Kings as well. The King is the last card in each suit, representing the last stage of development. Within the King is the wisdom of having passed through every number below him in his evolution to the pinnacle of power. The King is the masculine archetype of leadership and power, accompanied by the wisdom of experience. All kings know the right thing to do. So now I'm going to read the King of Diamonds. The King of Diamonds is the master of values, finances, and business. In this regard, he or she can do very well in any business pursuit, applying their inherited knowledge to their work with much success. These people are always more successful as heads of their own business rather than working for others. They can be very mercenary when it comes to money and business, but they don't have to be. This is the only one-eyed king in the deck, which tends to blind them to certain aspects of life and situations. This can also make them very stubborn, seeing things from only their side of the issue. King of Diamonds are known to make enemies for this very reason. Perhaps the appraised battle axe on their card represents the fondness of competition. There's an axe on the card. I don't know if you can see it. However, all of them know what is of real value, and if they follow their knowledge instead of their fears, they can be the most respectable people in the business world. They must always guard against using their power to get things to go their way at the expense of others. With so much inherent power, the King of Diamonds can't avoid dealing with their feelings, and this is where many problems are created. There are often emotional issues from childhood that must be dealt with before the higher side of this card can be manifested. Until then, they can appear cold and ruthless. They are very creative and can make huge amounts of money by using this gift. The King of Diamonds are powerful people who can do much good in the world. They can be examples of those who are in the world but not of it. The King of Diamonds issues concerning relationships. The King of Diamonds is one of those cards that doesn't have any particular good or bad relationship karma. However, being kings, hold on, I'm going to turn this a little bit. Being kings, they are quite powerful and unwilling to compromise, which can cause problems on the personal level. The women especially have to find a way to balance their strong masculine side in the context of a relationship where the accepted norm is the retiring female. They tend to want to dominate or at least be an equal to their mates, and some men are not able to deal with such power in a woman. Some of the women give up trying after a few unsuccessful attempts. Some of the men do likewise. Both sexes can be guilty of looking at love and marriage strictly from a financial point of view. It is always best for them to keep their business and love life separate until they find the right match. Both sexes should learn to express their fears and emotions to have better luck in romance or marriage. Honest communication bridges the gap and brings more intimacy. They're attracted to those of wit and good education and are often found working with their spouse in business. How we make enemies. The King of Diamonds has a standing reputation among card readers for having more enemy relationships than the other cards in the deck. Arsenio Hall, a well-known King of Diamonds, has had more than one book written about his life and the enemies he's made in his rise to the top. Florence Campbell, Edith Randall call the King of Diamonds the most materialistic and ruthless card in the deck. Among those who operate on the lower levels of their birth card, they say the King of Diamonds will stop at nothing in order to gain the things they want or to have the upper hand. What could it be about them that gives them this reputation? Did you ever notice that the King of Diamonds is the only king with only one eye showing? No, I didn't. This is also true of the Jack of Hearts and the Jack of Spades. These cards with only one eye showing tend to see the world one way and one way only. This trait is manifested differently. This trait is manifested differently in the three cards. In the Jack of Spades, which can manifest as the Thief card, we often see an ongoing deception being played out in their life based upon their personal definition of what it is all about. The Jack of Hearts, the card of sacrifice, we see this blind-sightedness manifesting in their love life. They are often blind to the faults of others and tend to be used by them. But in the King of Diamonds, this one-sidedness happens in many of their professional affairs where they seem to have a hard time seeing beyond their own ideas, beliefs, and value systems to get the bigger picture. Many King of Diamonds have a Mercury-Moon aspect that is difficult. When Mercury and the Moon combine in our natal chart, we tend to think through our emotions. Technically, it is called subjective thinking. Subjective thinking tends to blind us to the other point of view while causing us to attach ourselves to ideas and beliefs that are simply untrue. Give this subjective reasoning to someone who has a lot of pride and who is used to getting their way because they are a king, after all, and you may end up with a tyrant at times. Many people would agree that tyrant exactly describes some of the King of Diamonds associates. Any Jack, Queen, or King person is used to having power over their lifetime, and each of their own way of using the power to get what they want. The temptation is always there to use and often to abuse the power. It is often more expedient for any of us to use whatever power we have to resolve a situation rather than to face our own fear or feelings. If this happens repeatedly, we will gradually lose touch with our feelings, which are what we use to tell us what is real and unreal. We can get way out there, so to speak. In the case of the King of Diamonds, they also have a subjective mentality that can make them believe that they are always right, when in fact their conclusions are based upon unfulfilled emotional needs that go unrecognized. They also seem to be less afraid to be confrontational with others than other cards. Creating a conflict with someone else doesn't seem to be a big problem to many King of Diamonds. And perhaps this is why some of them attract situations where others feel embattled by their presence. The King of Diamonds are essentially peace-loving individuals who have a strong sense of fairness and personal relationships that makes their lives easygoing and carefree most of the time. But as with any other card, when they become afraid or emotional, they have a unique pattern of how they deal with the situation at hand. As with other kings, the unaware King of Diamonds is probably going to use their great power to make others change. And this is often where enemy relationships are born. So I want to say one thing about all of this reading in these cards is what I've noticed is that when someone does personal work, spiritual development, personal growth, that the shadow side of the card is transcended into the medicine side and the positive. So you'll see more positive sides. But we all know a King of Diamonds, don't we? I hope you enjoyed the reading. I hope it landed, and look below for your planetary card. Ciao.